Your brain is being hacked every time you open a book, and if you don't feel that urge to read, you might be missing out on a biological advantage that others are already using to outperform you. To someone who doesn't read, this looks boring, almost like a punishment. But to book lovers, it's like a legal drug. Science tells us their brains don't just work differently. They are actively building a reality you cannot see. But is it possible that reading changes your DNA, or is it just a habit? Later on, we'll look at a study that shows your brain keeps reading even when your eyes are closed. 1. The flight simulator of the mind. Imagine being able to live 1,000 lives without ever leaving your room. That's not just a poetic phrase, it's pure neuroscience. When you read, your brain enters a fascinating state where the boundary between ink and reality fades away. Scientists have discovered that our neurons don't clearly distinguish between what we read and what we physically experience. If a character in a book is climbing a mountain or running from danger, the areas of your motor cortex that control your own legs and lungs begin to light up on a brain scan. Reading is, quite literally, flight simulator for existence. While others only have their own limited life experience, readers have rehearsed difficult situations, moral dilemmas, and great tragedies thousands of times in their imagination. This creates a unique emotional muscle. When real life gets hard, the reader's brain doesn't panic because it feels like it's been there before. 2. The social superpower. This is where biology meets competitive advantage. People who consume stories aren't just reading words, they're training their ability to read minds. When you immerse yourself in a narrative, you're forced to understand why the villain does what he does, or what the heroine feels when she's betrayed. In psychology, this translates into a highly developed theory of mind. It's like having a high-fidelity radar. Readers develop a special sensitivity for picking up micro-expressions and tones of voice in real life because they've spent hours inside the skin of strangers. They've been kings, beggars, warriors, and victims. This mental flexibility allows them to anticipate reactions and understand hidden motivations. That's why in a negotiation or a relationship argument, a reader often sees 3 steps ahead. They don't just hear what you say, they understand the subtext you didn't even know you were sending. 3. The addiction to deep peace. Have you ever wondered why a reader prefers a book over a noisy party? It's not that they're antisocial, it's that they've discovered the ultimate trick against modern anxiety. A study from the University of Sussex showed that just 6 minutes of silent reading can reduce stress levels by 68%. That's faster and more powerful than listening to music or going for a walk. When you read, you force your nervous system to leave the alert state and enter a state of total calm. While most people have jumpy brains, addicted to cheap dopamine from social media and constant stimulation, the reader has trained their attention to become a laser. They focus on one thing and stay there, which is a form of deep meditation. But be careful, there's a dark side psychologists call escapism. If you use books to run away from your problems instead of recharging to face them, you might be building a golden cage. I'll tell you how to find the perfect balance at the end of this video. 4. The memory time machine. You're more likely to remember in detail the castle from a book you read 5 years ago than the office where you worked last month. This happens because reading activates our spatial memory in an astonishing way. To your brain, a book isn't a list of facts, it's a physical space. When an author describes a cold room or a dark alley, your neurons create 3-dimensional maps, not just text files. What's most incredible is that the brain generates what we call synthetic memories. Your mind stores the space travels or epic battles you've read about on the same hard drive, or it stores your real childhood vacations. That's why a reader never experiences loneliness in quite the same way. They walk through the world carrying a massive collection of experiences and places inside their head. They have a database of lived lives that gives them a sense of time and history others simply can't process. 5. The shield against oblivion. Imagine your brain as a garden. If you stop planting and caring for it, the weeds of forgetfulness and decline will eventually take over. This is where books become the best biological protector that exists. People who love reading are building what science calls cognitive reserve. Every time you learn a new concept or follow a complex plot, you force your neurons to create new connections, as if you were installing backup wiring in an old house. If one wire gets damaged over time by natural aging, the reader's brain has thousands of alternative routes for information to keep flowing. They keep their mind young, agile, and resilient. For them, reading is the true elixir of youth. While others watch their world shrink with age, the reader's world keeps expanding with every page. 6. The truth filter. In the age of fake news and 10-second videos, the reader possesses the most powerful weapon of all, cognitive patience. Reading a long book is an act of resistance. It trains your brain not to settle for what's easy, fast, or superficial. While the rest of the world is manipulated by headlines designed to provoke outrage, the reader has a built-in lie detector. This patience allows them to seek evidence, analyze context, and understand that reality is almost never black and white. A reader knows that if something sounds too simple to be true, it probably is. They've developed the ability to suspend judgment while gathering information, which makes them extremely hard to deceive or sweep up in ideological trends. Critical thinking isn't something you're born with. It's a muscle trained by reading long paragraphs and complex arguments. 7. The advantage of crystallized intelligence. It's not that readers are born with a higher IQ, it's that they master crystallized intelligence. This is the ability to use accumulated knowledge to solve new problems. Every book you finish is a piece of an infinite puzzle that allows you to see patterns where others only see chaos. While the mental speed of most people begins to decline after 30, the reader's intelligence keeps growing relentlessly. This advantage translates into something vital: emotional precision. A reader's vocabulary is so rich, they can name exactly what they're feeling. They don't just say, "I'm sad," they know whether it's melancholy, disappointment, nostalgia. And here's the secret: whoever has the words to name their pain has the power to heal it. The reader has an entire pharmacy in their vocabulary, and a crystallized wisdom that lets them navigate life's storms with a far more accurate map than everyone else. At the beginning, I told you about escapism, that dark side where reading becomes a refuge to avoid daily life. It's true, many people use pages to escape a reality that hurts them. But there's a fundamental difference between someone who hides and someone who trains. The true reader doesn't run from life, they temporarily withdraw in order to return with better tools, with a mental armor others can't even imagine. Remember, it's never too late to pick up a book, open the cover, and turn on the simulator. The world is much bigger than what your eyes can see, but only if you dare to read it. See you in the next video.